Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Torah Tech Tips. I am Rabbi David, your Torah Tech guy, and I'm here as always to share with you great tech for your great Torah. So I wanted today to talk about another option to figure out how we're going to make sense of this crazy world and the high holidays that are coming up. We've all been thrown, I think, into a bit of a craze in the past couple of weeks. We were all hoping for in-person, on-site, in the same room services, and now many of us feel like we're back to square one. Now, there's no doubt there's something magical about being together on-site for an event, for a service, a class, a concert, or anything else. There's nothing like being physically together. And yet here we are, struggling with how to keep a sense of that togetherness while staying safe apart. And of course, we're also all thinking about the technologies that we can leverage to make all of this happen. Over the past 18 months, we've really been focusing on three primary models, three different ways of imagining how we can engage our participants and those who are davening and learning with us. The first is fully on-site. We know we can't do this yet. At least many of us can't. The second is fully online, sort of passive streaming, right? That's if you're like I'm doing right now, streaming out to YouTube or Facebook. And again, there are ways to engage people on these platforms, but by and large, it's a passive experience for the participant. And the third option that we've all been talking about is hybrid. Well, this is really hard and it's not a great experience. So today I want to suggest to you another option called digital first. So first of all, let's just stop for a second. Why is hybrid so hard? Well, there are a bunch of challenges. First of all, one is incorporating the tech without turning our sanctuaries into production trailers. And this has been there's been a lot of conversation about this recently because our sanctuaries are sacred places. And the idea of bringing digital technologies, TVs, cameras, into those spaces, even though many of us have been using microphones for some time, it feels intrusive. And I would argue that these technologies are not all that different than the technology of chairs or the technology of the printed book that we've been using for quite a while. And yet, I fully recognize that it feels different. It feels a bit intrusive. And so the first challenge with hybrid is how do we get all this tech stuff in so that we can do it well without turning our sanctuaries into places that don't have that same sense of sanctity. Another challenge with the hybrid is isolating sound so that people at home have a good audio experience. It can be really challenging to have a good audio experience for the people who are zooming in, who are in their Zoomagog, if you also have people in the room and you're using loudspeakers. And a third challenge is how we incorporate our Zoomers into the experience such that they're equals with our roomers, right? How do we get that done? So there are a lot of challenges that come with a hybrid environment and a hybrid kind of service. So here's another option. It's called digital first. What is digital first? Digital first means that we prioritize the online participation and experience over having people on site. And doing this allows us to not worry about many of the challenges of hybrid. We can isolate audio feeds, place cameras in the best places, produce the best experience for our online participants. It gets rid of a lot of those challenges, but there's something else that these digital first experiences offer us. And churches have been doing this for some time now. In addition to having people on site, they have leveraged what we might call the chavurah model. They've encouraged people who are maybe too far away or otherwise unable to come on site or just participating digitally to gather in small groups in their homes. We've always thought of it as sort of a binary. Either you're in synagogue or you're not. You're in the sanctuary or you're not. But what if we invited people to turn their homes into sanctuaries? And not like we did last year. Because last year we all had our own individual Mishkan Ma'at, our own small sanctuary. But what if instead, a big part of a sanctuary is people gathering together. What if instead we invited people to create chavurot, to invite their family members, friends who are fully vaccinated or who they feel safe with, small groups together to participate in your services, in your offerings, in a digital-first experience. So this serves a few goals. First of all, it allows us to create a digital-first experience without the challenges that a hybrid experience creates. If the person presenting, if the rabbi, the cantor, the educator, whoever it is in an environment that is geared toward providing the best experience for online participants, audio, video, all that other stuff, if we don't have to worry about the questions that we struggle with about bringing tech into the sanctuary, if we don't have to worry about the audio challenges of using a loud sound system in a room and bringing people in via Zoom, if we don't have those challenges to contend with, if we're in an isolated area, the presenters, but then we invite our congregants to gather in person, in small groups, we can give them the most meaningful experience. And let me just highlight, by the way, this is not a passive experience. I mean, they can still participate. You can have them do honors, aliyot. I was going to say haliyot, but honors, aliyot. You can have them do reads. You can bring people in through the Zoomagog into your production. But by not having people in the room, by focusing on the online experience, it frees you up to not have to worry about some of those challenges. A second goal that this serves, it allows people to still have a shared experience with others even though they're not all in the same room. The last thing we want is for people to feel a sense of isolation, much like we all did last year. And yet we also feel a tug to keep everyone safe. And for some of us, that means not inviting people into our sanctuaries. So let's invite people in safe ways and in ways that they feel comfortable to gather in small groups together in their homes, and then let us come into their homes digitally. Another thing that this accomplishes, it frees us up to be more creative in our offerings. Last year we all got uber creative. We all got crazy creative in how we were able to serve our communities. Well, let's capitalize on that. Let's grab that and do it again. Let's use the things that worked great last year. Let's come up with new ideas. Let's be really creative in how we celebrate the new year this year and Shabbat going forward. And a fourth goal that this accomplishes, or a fourth reason why this can be such a powerful way of thinking about the high holidays and maybe even some Shabbatot, is that it empowers our congregants and our community members to take ownership of their prayer and holiday experiences. Prayer doesn't live anymore in a dedicated room. It lives in the hearts and the homes of all of those who participate. So I would call these pray dates. I've wanted to build something called Pray Date for years, right? As a young child, you go on play dates. As a young adult, you find love on J-Date. Well, you did. When I came up with this idea, you found love on J-Date. And as an adult, you make an eternal connection on a pray date. So let's have pray dates where friends and family gather safely and share the best digital-first experience with others. So I wonder, what would your holiday and Shabbat experiences look like in a digital-first environment? What technologies would you use? How would you build these micro-communities, these chavurot, these pray dates amongst your community members? This is a moment for us to grasp this opportunity, to think differently about what it means to daven together. We can daven and learn and celebrate together this year. It may just have to look a little different. And a digital-first experience may be a great way to accomplish that goal. If you want to learn more about digital-first experiences or any of the technology or the tools that I use, I want to invite you to visit me on TorahTechGuide.com. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube. I have a lot of wonderful resources available for you. I've been doing tons of trainings for groups, synagogues, communities all over the country, one-on-ones. I'm happy to help you in any way that I can. Just reach out to me there through TorahTechGuide.com. Friends, until next time, have a wonderful week, and maybe consider, is a digital-first experience right for you? See you later.